Hey everyone, welcome to the Leaders Lounge. This is your place for leaders, especially those who are current and aspiring to get all of your leadership goodness. So, everything related to how to lead yourself and lead others, you can find right here on the Leaders Lounge. It is your place to get tips, strategies, just to exhale, even and find a soft place to land because sometimes leadership can be a bit taxing and a little pressurized. And so we want this to be your place to come and say, you know what? I may need a moment. Let me see what's going on the Leaders Lounge. And so please make sure that you connect to us, subscribe if you have not, so that you are notified every time we upload new episodes for you. And then make sure to also connect to us on our Instagram at the.leaders.lounge. That's the.leaders.lounge, which is showing right underneath my name. So you again can stay connected. We have reels from some of our previous episodes on there. Occasionally, we'll have some other leadership tips on there as well. So it's all of the things that you need to be your best as a leader. Today, we are doing a special episode. Those of people who have been connected to us throughout the last month know that each week I interviewed another phenomenal woman for Women's History Month. And to wrap up Women's History Month, I am playing what I've chosen as my top four wisdom moments from these women. And I'm going to tell you, my son recently asked me, which one was your favorite? Which one was your most difficult? They were all amazing. They were all amazing because each one brought a different element to the space, a different dynamic, shared different information from their personal walks that we all can use as we are going about our journeys. And each one, it's just like I say, whenever I've trained, when I train, even if I'm training the same topic, it's so exciting to me because the dynamics of the people are different. And so that's what drives the type of engagement, the flow of the classroom. And the same is true for this conversation and the conversations, I should say, that I had with all of these women. So today, again, in no particular order, I'm going to share my top four and I'm going to tell y'all why. From what each of these people said, this was the nugget or the wisdom moment that stood out most to me. So, y'all ready? I hope so. Before we get started with that, of course, I always have to share with you all to pick up our latest book, which is Unpacking Agape, the 7 Languages of Intentional Leadership. Let me tell y'all, if you are new, emerging, this is a must-read book because it provides you with the core principles to learn how to go from being what I call a flat leader or an individual contributor or a person who has an individual contributor mindset to one who thinks really intentionally about how to lead well. So you want to pick this book up at worldclasstraining.net/agape. That's the first thing. The second one is we have a program that's coming up. This program is not about learning how to be a public speaker. It's about learning how, as a leader, to find your voice. And it is called, in fact, From Vision to Voice. And we are starting an interest list for that because that program is coming out. Please connect to us on our website at worldclasstraining.net. That's worldclasstraining.net to find out about our Vision to Voice program because we're going to be launching that in the next few weeks. And again, it is a great program because a lot of, again, leaders, some who are seasoned and some who are new, who have not made the connection between what they want to see in their teams and the deliverable with their team members. And a lot of it is because it's lost in translation. And this class is about helping you to build the conduit between your vision and your voice that is going to yield the right results for your team members. So, again, join the Vision to Voice interest list. We're going to put that on our front website probably within the next day or so. So if you don't see it by tomorrow, make sure to check back by Wednesday. I would say at the latest, we will have the interest list right there on the front page, and you will just go to worldclasstraining.net for that. That's worldclasstraining.net. All right, those are all of our announcements. And now we are ready to get into our content. So I've decided I'm actually going to start with my Howard friend, Angela, because what she talks about is something that I know a lot of women struggle with, and that is owning the space of their 24 hours and being able to master how they spend their time. So I'm going to start with Angela. Here we go. I've mentioned it several times, that I see that your plate is incredibly full, but somehow you get it done, and you get it done with an attitude of love, which some people find difficult to do. They may help you, or they may move through whatever they need to move through with their families, but the energy that they're bringing to the space is sometimes one where you almost wish they didn't help, right?
Yeah.
So before we get into some of the details about you, just share kind of what is your overall and maybe it's not a mantra that you have necessarily internalized, but it became your guiding light for how you're able to juggle so many different balls, so to speak, in your life and still do it all with a sense of amazing grace.
Yeah, I think for me, it's that mantra of if not me, then who?
Mm.
Right. I always tell myself that number one, I want to put myself in a place where I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, something that I feel like I'm being called to do. And that just makes it easy for me to kind of traverse and get through those kind of things. The harder things, like taking care of my father, it's definitely an if not me, then who, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm all about community, and I'm all about making sure that we are all lifting each other up. What I always say is when we lift each other up, we all get ahead. So that's kind of that's the mindset that I always have. I'm always wanting to help other people prosper, and just hope that karma brings it back to me.
So as you're doing that, because that is important to have that, if not me then who mentality, but there's also this ideal that's out there now that women and people in general are carrying a lot of weight, right? And so
Hmm.
we go through this. uh, I've heard often that women, we have to own our space of rest, and we have to learn how to say no.
Yes.
Where do you place boundaries, and how do you find rest in the midst of it all, when, yeah, if not you, it is, if not anyone else, it is you, and you know what you have to do, but you also need to be true to who you are and what you want to gain out of this thing called life.
Yeah. So I'm very intentional about my time.
Okay.
One of the things my previous AVP, she liked it, but it would also get on her nerves. I plan out all my time off at the beginning of the year,
Okay.
because what I found is in the past, I would work, 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 hit a wall, and then wouldn't
Mhm.
be able to take any time off, or felt like I couldn't take any time off because
Right.
of whatever, deadline or whatever project or whatever we have to do. So now I incorporate days in the calendar ahead of time. So, because I know me, right? I'm gonna go and go and go, but now I have that rest already entered into my calendar year, right? So that's the
Okay.
first step. That's the first step. The
That's
second thing is knowing how much I can do at one time. I say no a lot,
okay.
right? And I'm not afraid to say no.
Okay.
And I think that's very important for people to learn and understand. It's okay to say no,
Yep.
right? Because you don't want to stretch yourself out so thin that you're not even able to help the people that you're already helping,
That's
right?
so
So for
true.
me, that's been a huge thing is learning to say no, definitely expressing my boundaries. My son Deuce is really, really good at that, right? I remember he was at church one time and Miss Andrea said, "Can I get a hug, Deuce?" And he looked at her and very plainly said, "No,
Right.
no."
Yeah.
And that's it. No, it's a sentence. Full stop.
Full
And it's
stop.
full stop. And people should learn not to be offended by that because it's just somebody protecting their boundaries and protecting their peace.
And it's full stop without apology and
Hmm.
without excuse. We have
Yes.
to be comfortable saying no and not feeling the need to add on I'm gonna
An
call it a white lie,
explanation.
right? We gotta
Hmm.
explain it, even if it's I shouldn't even say a white lie, or it may be the truth. We should be able to say no because
Hmm.
no is just the answer. Because
Yeah.
for this particular moment, it may be setting a boundary because this is not a safe space. It could be a time boundary, or it could just be because guess what? I don't want to do
I don't
that.
want to.
Right.
Hmm. 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 I'm with you on that, girl.
I have gotten so I love that conversation, that part of the conversation with Angela, because I always want people to be reminded that you are the owner of the 24 hours that our higher power gives us every day. So when he drops that gift of another day, you own how you spend that. And you don't have to give it away frivolously. You should not give it away frivolously. In fact, you have to be very cognizant of how you spend your time. And I always say, if I give somebody $20, I could perhaps get that $20 back tomorrow if I say, hey, just hold on to this. But I can never say to somebody, hold on to my 20 minutes and give it back to me. So if I'm spending it with you or on you, it needs to be value added. So I love that Angela brought that out and said, hey, you know what? Sometimes no is the answer, no, full stop. And we have to be good with moving on from that. And people should not get offended at your no. Because if you, as I heard also Pastor Torrey Roberts say, if I say no enough, then it frees me up to put my yes, and I'm paraphrasing, in the right place, right? But if I'm just giving away no's, giving away yeses, yes, 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 it really loses its power because I'm always saying yes. And also, I'm putting myself in a position where a big yes that I need to give, I'm not able to because I've overspent my time in areas that are not productive. So that's the first one. The second person I want to share is actually Cassandra L. Reed, who is the author of the book Making Faith Moves No Matter What. And the part that I want to share from her is a part that I hope inspires a lot of women, especially those younger women who may be in college or may be trying to go through even high school and might have faced an unexpected pregnancy. It does happen. And I want you all to know, though, just because that happened, it doesn't mean that it's the end of your career or the end of your story. And I want y'all to let Cassandra's story be a reminder of this. So here is Cassandra. With everybody your backstory and told them about, how
Okay.
out about you were having 2 kids and one of them had some health challenges, but you still went forward, completed your degree, became a full-fledged accountant. So just give us kind of the Reader's Digest version of what you went through mentally to have
Okay.
distance to finish, to still, and you took your children down there, right? So you
Yes,
didn't,
I did.
kids were
When they
with you.
turned 1 year old, I got the health bill, from their pediatrician to say that they were good.
Okay.
Their health was good. It was stable enough. So
Okay.
I was on a job at the time that didn't want to promote me because I did not have my degree. And that said, okay, well, I'm going to get it because I don't want to be turned down for nothing. I didn't want to give anyone an excuse to tell me no,
That's
ever.
right.
So I said, hey, I'm resigning. I called my professor at Grambling and he said, Cassandra, just come back. We'll help you with the boys. We'll figure it out. Just do it. And I did. I drove those 12 hours, packed them up, and we went back to Grambling. And yeah, I finished with my twins and they were 3 years old. By the time they were 3, I was graduating.
My goodness. I am getting chills hearing that. So we can actually, no, because we sometimes we will get stuck and we'll think we will let circumstances dictate our steps versus what God has told us to do.
Exactly.
So you went with what God said, not what was around you to say, hey, I'm packing up this car. I don't know how we're gonna get it done.
I don't know how we're gonna get it done. Okay. I don't know how. But we gonna do it.
And then to have the support of, what was it, a Grambling, was he a professor or was it
my college professor, my accounting professor, the one that helped put my classes in the system to get me started and get me back there. But also one of my computer professors, his wife, they had an at-home daycare, Nigerian family. They had like 11 children. And they said, hey, come on, we'll take the twins and you can go to class, you can do your work study, all of the things, I had to get it done. I was with their father at the time, but he dropped out. He was doing whatever he was doing. I could not concentrate on that. Okay. My goal was to get a degree and raise my children.
That's right. Stay focused. You got to stay focused. And you know what else I thought about? So I'm also an HBCU kid, right? And so to me, I know all colleges are, you may get a good education, but it's something about the familial nature of an HBCU.
Yes. It's like family.
It's family. Mm-hmm. And they will tell you, I tell people, I say, if you go to like at Howard, you're not going to fail unless you want to. If you fail, it's because you really just didn't want to get anything done, because
that's right.
To get it done if you want.
True.
So that part with Cassandra, where she talks about the resilience that she demonstrated to go ahead and get her degree, even in the face of having not just one baby, she had twins. And she had come home, decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to work. But then she tried to get promoted, was not able to, and said, I'm not going to let that be a deterrent to my career and me being able to fully support my family. She packed her kids up, did not know how she was going to get it done, and got it done in 3 years, graduated with an accounting degree at Grambling. Why? Because she knew that all she needed to do was take the next step. And I always think about when Oprah Winfrey said that, for those people who like Oprah. She said, we don't have to be concerned with the whole staircase. All we have to do is take the next step. And so when I get overwhelmed with, or start feeling overwhelmed by the challenges that I have in running a business and trying to figure out how this thing is going to work and what's going to happen tomorrow and how are these people going to say yes and no, all of the things. I settle myself down and I say, Dawn, what's in front of you right now to handle? Take care of what's in front of you right now by taking the next step. And that's what Cassandra did. That's what I want you all to do, because that's where the power lies, in just moving forward even when you don't know the whole outcome, because guess whose hands this is in anyway? God's. It's all in his hands. So we might as well just walk this thing out one step at a time. And that's what she did. And that's why she was able to complete her degree and then continue on. She's been working out at the IRS for, I think she said, almost 30 years. Amazing, amazing story of resilience. Third person I want to share is Miss Anna Hall of Garden of Reading Bookstore. So Anna is going to share a message about her leadership walk and what challenged her in one of her roles as a leader and what she did, and why she felt it was necessary to do what she did when this situation happened. So here we go. Since this is the Leaders Lounge, I'm going to ask you this question. I heard you say that you believed that at the job where you were, they were not taking care of the people. And definitely, I believe that that is the center of anybody who desires to be or wants to be a good leader has to be, first of all, a servant to and for the people. So, what specifically was it, or were there? And you don't have to get into the details of the people necessarily, but what were some of the behaviors that indicated to you that the people weren't being cared for in the way that
The behavior to me was, and here's the thing, I am the type of person that would never let things get down to my team. So
okay,
I would take it. You see what I'm saying? I would take it. I
sure,
would take it. I would take it because my skin is tough, so I can take it and brush it off and keep it moving.
right,
However, and to be honest with you, this situation, it happened to me, but it really wasn't. I guess it was directed to me and somebody else. I was in a completely different conversation. We had just came out of a pretty tough meeting, a new construction meeting, and it was pretty tough. And which is understandable because when you are doing this, the owners has a lot of money tied up in this, millions and millions
right,
of dollars. So if you don't meet the deadlines, those are fees that you have to pay back, interest rates, and it's just so much that goes into that. And so
sure,
this particular day, I had already been working to after midnight, making sure property inspections was being met. Staff
yeah,
turnover was crazy, but this particular day, so I was already on burnout row. We had came out of a meeting and I was talking to another guy and I'm like, I just lost him. I knew I had just lost him and I couldn't afford to lose him.
okay,
And he was a great guy, but he was just burnt out. He was tired.
right,
And the reason I knew I had lost him was because he was one of the guys, when he would get scolded, he would always look down
mm,
and he would kind of just sink into himself. And this
mm-hmm,
particular day, I literally saw him raise up and
mm.
look the other people directly in their eyes. And I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And I'm talking to I'm having a whole conversation to myself. And I said, uh-oh. And so when we got out the meeting and I was like, yeah, we were all getting coffee. And I said, yeah, that was pretty rough, but everybody's pretty tired. I was like, but we're going to get through it together. We're a strong team. So I'm like, I need this guy. I need him. He cannot
Sure,
leave me here.
yeah,
And he looked at me and he said, uh-huh. He said, uh-huh. And I said, no, like for real, like we going to make this work. Right. And so one of the owners actually came out and heard us talking. And they said in the moment, literally, I'll never forget it, looked both of us up and down, and said, I pay people to be tired. And so it did something to my entire spirit in that moment. Like I
mm-hmm.
literally had to remove myself and go to my office and literally strictly go to God. It wasn't nobody else for me to go to.
Yeah,
It
absolutely,
wasn't call your mama. It wasn't
right,
call your girlfriend. It was
right,
like Jesus. And I knew at that moment it didn't matter what I did. And so I teach this thing in classes in with my team about PTSD in the workplace. And so
okay,
that is real. And a lot of
it's
people don't
real,
know that. And that was
yes,
one of the reasons that I even started writing my book, was that particular book is because PTSD in the workplace is real. And so when you
yes,
always get people, when you call them to your office and they first go to is, am I in trouble? Am I in
Right.
trouble?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe grown people get in trouble because I believe that we can figure out anything together, and I will coach you back to life. Now, everybody is not coachable. I understand that, but I will give you the opportunity because people do hit burnout row. And if
Right.
you don't want it, then let's figure out what seat on the bus you need to be in.
That's right.
What
Yeah.
I
That's
was
right.
focused on, what seat on the bus, whether it be the bus here or whether it be the
Right.
bus somewhere else. And so that was my goal. But I was done when it came to I paid people to be tired because I don't care how many zeros are behind
Right.
what you're paying me. And I was
Right.
making very good money. Let me be
Sure.
clear. The
Right.
thing to me was it wasn't about the money in the moment. And I was also going through a divorce at the same
Okay.
time. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, oh, now wait a minute. Now, hold
Mm-hmm.
on. Now, I can only take so much.
Right.
But one thing that is a non-negotiable for me, and it will always be in my personal, my professional life, is respect.
Okay.
Because I give it. So I give it,
Yes.
so I
Right.
require it.
RESPECT. Respect. And what Anna shared in that video, that little clip about, you know, her leader was speaking to her, Anna, and her subordinate and telling them that they are paid to be tired. Now, I am, as many people know, a proponent of servant leadership, which means that I am a proponent of the mindset where leaders express first sacrificial care and concern for their team members. That particular leader, Anna's leader, did not show care and concern for his team members, which is why the team was off put. And when you operate in that crash and burn mentality, like we just got to keep going, we just got to keep going. You get paid just to keep going. I pay y'all to not take a break. The long-term impact of that is you never win. You may get some financial gains, but your turnover rate, your attrition rate is going to be through the roof. So your net gain might not even be as high as you think because you are spending money on the back end, replacing people, having to retrain people or train new people, I should say, because your dedicated, committed team members who you fail to show a lack of care and concern for are out the door. And so I love that clip from Anna where she highlighted that moment and recognize that it was not about the pay. And again, one thing that I did mention is that a lot of times studies show that people do not leave jobs because of lack of pay. They leave jobs because they do not feel valued. They don't feel like they've developed. They don't feel like that's a place that the employment is a place where they can grow. Those are the three biggest concerns. It's not about the money. And so when people think they can just throw money at a problem when they have employees concerns, they are misguided because it is not the case. When you don't care for your employees, they will leave and they will sit to the side for a little while and just chill and, eat rice and crackers while they're figuring it out before they're disrespected. So I love that she shared that. And my last, but certainly not least, clip that I want to share is short, but it was so powerful from Miss Chelsea Albert because this is what we all need to think when we're overthinking. So here we go. What is kind of one phrase or group of words that you think that women should keep in mind as they are leading themselves and leading others through this thing called life?
Ooh. Oh, man. Okay. Hold on. That one's going to take a second.
Okay.
A group of
Words or a phrase, anything that you think we should keep at the forefront of our minds.
Okay, this phrase I have heard through another teacher, so don't credit
Okay.
me with this.
Okay.
But it's a very simple 2-word mantra. And the background of it is keep this in mind when you start worrying about what anybody else is going to think of this, what how all of the pressure and all of the this is this and all of this on your shoulders. The magic mantra. So what?
Mm.
People are gonna think that I am some kind of B word. So what?
No.
People are going to question me. So what? I'm
Mhm.
questioning me. So what?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know to the best and highest of your knowledge? Do you feel to the best and highest of your clarity that this is the next best choice? Yes. Then everything else. So what? But I might make a mistake. So what?
So what? I love that. I'm just taking a moment with that because, yeah, that's it. I love that. So what? So what? When we are making decisions, as Chelsea said, if we are making them from a place of what we believe is the authentic right next step for us, then we have to move in that with confidence, regardless of what anyone else says, regardless of how it may look to the world, regardless of if we make a mistake. Move through it. Understand you're going to get to the other side somehow. If it's fantastic, great. If it's not, so what? So what? And I even shared with her, I said, my previous boss, one of them said, we have to think about things as with this kind of 3 thought process, building in the so what. So it's what? So what is it? So what? Why does it matter? Now what? What do we do next? Right? And so that's another way to even think about that. The what is, hey, this is what I'm going to do right now. So what? If it doesn't work, cool. If it does work, we're cool too. Now what? What's going to be the next thing that I need to accomplish or achieve or not do, right? What? So what? Now what? So I love that Chelsea shared that as her mantra. And I want people to think about that too. Don't beat yourselves up. Women, give yourselves grace, amazing grace. We are phenomenal women. I wasn't going to share it, but I think I got to share just a little piece of it from Maya Angelou. Pretty women wonder where your secret lies. We're not cute, but we are cute, but maybe not built to suit a fashion model size. But when they start to wonder, I think I'm getting that right. Let me see. Yeah. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I am a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. I'm just going to have to go ahead on with the rest of it because it's so good. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care. 'Cause I'm a woman, phenomenal woman. That's me. And that's every woman out there. You are phenomenal, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't let them change you. Don't let them talk about you. They can talk, but so what? Walk in your power every single day. And I'm going to close with this. First, thank you to every woman who shared with me. Cassandra L. Reed, Angela Wynn, who's running for state senate in Tennessee. Please vote for her in Rutherford County. Chelsea Albert, intuitive hypnotherapist. Anna Hall of Garden of Reading Bookstore, and one who I interviewed twice, but I had so many technical difficulties that day. Her show did not air, but she is definitely a phenomenal woman. Princess Rogers, attorney here in Nashville, one of Nashville's top 40 under 40. These are brilliant women. And I am so grateful to each of you all for sharing your stories with me this month. It's been amazing talking to each of you, and I wish you nothing but life's greatest success. I'm going to close out with another little piece from Marianne Williamson. She wrote the book, A Return to Love, and in it, she talks about her deepest fear. This is another quote that a lot of people have heard, but it's so powerful to me as well, because I also always want women's light to shine. So she wrote, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And so it is. And so, women all around the world, I want you to know that your light must shine, because as your light shines, you freely give other women space for theirs to shine as well. It's not in some of us, as Marianne Williamson writes, it's in all of us. So go, let your light shine. Shine so the whole world can see it. And if you make a mistake, so what? Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Until next time, always remember the World Class Training Institute. We exist to maximize human capital, which is your organization's greatest resource. Connect to us at worldclasstraining.net and at the Leaders Lounge. always remember that this is your place to come get all of your leadership goodness. So until next time, remember, when you are better, we are absolutely better. Take care.